intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic means inside and extrinsic outside. What I have inherited, what I have learned, what I have developed. Sometimes maybe before coming to the college, before starting your graduation, maybe some of you, as you have entered in 2020, but when you get your degree in 2024, some of you may be quite confident, and you yourself, sometimes students come to us and they said that before these 4 years have given me the chance to go to the stage, but in school time or in my previous college, I have never ever been to the stage, and I have never been faced to the audience. So these qualities might, sometimes some students have inherited quality that they are the good speakers, but sometimes the platform, the environment, the opportunities given in the time, that has given them the chance that they started speaking. So all this, through your self introduction, you are just giving them a glimpse, just giving them a chance to see what kind of personality you are. So self introduction now is a part of job science. You know, wherever you go, even it is a small job, even it is a job in a small company, big company, government job, private job, everything starts with the introduction. And in the introduction, that is your first impression, and it is your ticket that whether you will go ahead or you will be asked to wait and come again. So this is something which we need to be, if we want that, we have to start, we need to start with the introduction always. So this is something where we need to be master of it. And if we talk about its importance, undoubtedly it is an important part of our day-to-day professional life, in which we have to introduce ourselves to others sorry, for various purposes and in various situations. And the most important is the area of our placement in an organization. That is why our introduction should not only be good, but equally balanced and effective, including all the special traits of our personality and profile. Your good, impressive introduction really works for you and gets you to your desired destination with ease and grace. When we start our introduction, when we do introduction of ourselves, we come to know that it is the something, it is our personality which we are depicting to others. We make people impressive. They, if introduction is good, definitely the employer or the HR, they find it out that you are really worth person to be selected for the company. So self introduction is something, when even you people have, you people definitely agree with me, when you people come, when you give your introduction, even as a student, when you are giving your introduction is a remark, or it is a channel or impression that what kind of student you would be in the coming years. So the same is with the company. So that's why it's written, do master your self introduction for your own success. If you are preparing your introduction, if you are doing, for, for example, some of you are might be thinking at this time that self introduction is very easy. No problem, I have done it in the first semester. Even this time, if the sir will say, I will do it again. But believe me, this self introduction, putting it again and again. Right now, you are in third semester. When you people go to your fourth semester, when you go to your fifth semester, every time your dysfunctional English, the teacher who will be allotted to you, they will start. The first activity is your introduction. Every time when you practice this introduction, you definitely will become so perfect giving your introduction to the people, to the audience, to the strangers, so that when the finally when you have to sit in front of the company or the employer, you are perfect in few lines to describe yourself. So this is, we are making you artistic, or we are making you the masters of your self introduction. In an interview, might be there will be no technical round, might be they are not going to ask you anything, but yes, this is for sure that they are going to start your introduction, they are going to start your interview with your introduction. So that's why we have written here, you need to be mastered for your self introduction, not for others, but for your own success. Now, if we talk about introduction, there are number of chances when we have to give introduction. Sometimes we give introduction to the same people who are of the same rank. So suppose if I am a student and I have to introduce myself to the another student or to my class fellow. Sometimes when we are going to participate in different competitions, then we need to introduce. For example, as now in these days, as online things are going on, but when you know that there are competitions, if you are going to perform on stage, before you are going to perform, you need to give a brief introduction about yourself, that who you are, from where you are. For example, if university, if other colleges are conducted some competitions and you are going to participate in that, you need to start your competition with your introduction. Sometimes we have to introduce ourselves to our colleagues, to our team members at the time of joining an office. If you are joining something new, if right now I need to join a new organization and where I go, I have to meet everybody and I have to give them my introduction. I have to tell them from where I am, what I have done, and what I'm supposed to do from in this company from now onwards. And sometimes, yes, this is the area B, which is concerned with you. We have to introduce ourselves in the interviews. And in interviews, our introduction needs to be brief, it needs to be elaborated, and it needs to be professional. It needs to have the important things, not the extra things which company doesn't need. Employer is not interested in your personal life. He is interested into your professional, what professionally personality traits you have in your personality, which can be beneficial for the company. So there are number of things we introduce ourselves on number of situations. According to the situation, according to the requirement, we change our dialects, we change our content, we change what we have to say in which situation. So we, and if there is one thing scarier than skydiving, and that's been asked, tell me something about yourself by a group of strangers in a formal setting. You all will agree with me that in the, if we talk about, everyone has some fear of something. Some people fear of driving, some people fear of swimming, some people have a fear of climbing. But the most, even when you people were in the college, physically when you were attending your classes in school or as well as in the college, when teacher, any one of you, when anyone asks you to come out of your seat and stand in front of the strangers, stand in front of the audience and tell something about yourself, nobody has that guts. You start shivering, you start fumbling, you start making everything becomes blank in front of you. So tell me something about yourself. This is a big threatening question to the people when it is asked by the strangers. You are going for an interview, there are four people sitting in front of you, and everyone is looking at you and they are asking you, tell me something about yourself. You know very much, very well about yourself, that I am this, I belong to this city, I have done this, my qualification is this, I have these things, this is my short term goal, this is my long term goal. But the environment, but the fear, but that that thing is, it's so threatening that not a single word come from your mouth, from your side. So tell me something about yourself. It is always threatening, and this is something which people definitely not easily come out of it. In this today, in this presentation, I am going to discuss 10 process, 10 steps that will help you to answer this question. Which question? Tell me something about yourself. Anywhere, if you are going for higher education, if you are going to abroad, if you are going for interview, if you are going for placement, and there is a first question to you, tell me something about yourself. I will tell you that how you can make yourself master to answer these questions, which can be in your introduction. The 10 steps, if you follow in your introduction, there, that means I am going to tell you 10 things which you need to keep in your introduction, and that is all about your introduction. You don't have to go and add 11th one. Just work on these 10 steps, just work on these 10 process that will help you to answer this trick question which appeared in every job interview. Our today's discussion will include that 10-step process which will help you to introduce yourself in any job interview. In fact, you can use this in any selection interview. That selection can be for abroad, that selection can be for your higher studies, or that selection can be for anywhere where you are introducing yourself. We will discuss some rules that will go along with each step. We will talk about some common mistakes. Sometimes, as even in the first year, when you people were here in the lab, when I was discussing communicative English with you, I told you there are some mistakes which students make. Instead of wishing good morning, they say hello, right? Instead of saying my name is Varun Mehra, they say myself Varun Mehra. So we will talk about that common mistakes which you have to avoid and how that can be rectified. We will talk about some stock phrases. Stock phrases means there are fixed phrases which you can use in any situation. It is not that 10 years back or this student can use or this student can't use. These are the phrases which everyone can use in any situation. And that you just have to mesmerize, that you have to just learn, you have to attain with yourself. Any situation comes, you just have to go with the flow and your introduction will be super. So let's talk about this first thing, first step, that is tell me something about you. This question comes in number of different forms. Sometimes the HR, the interviewer, or the person who is in front of you, he asks you in a very simple way. Can you tell me something about you? Or he can ask you, can you walk me through your background? Or they can also ask you, take us through your resume. Anything the person is asking you, anything, the phrase can be any. Tell me something about you, walk me through your background, take us through your resume. But all these three phrases have single meaning, that he is asking about your introduction. He is asking you to introduce to them so that he comes to know what you have inherited or what intrinsic and extrinsic qualities you are going to sell to the company. Whatever it is, this is a trick question, because by this interviewer asking us to tell them about ourselves, and in fact they know everything about us by seeing that resume. You all agree with me that when we are going to appear for the interview, before we go to the seat, before we are going in front of them, our resume, our application, they have gone through, and they have gone through with each and every detail we have mentioned in the resume. But again, when they are asking us, tell me something about yourself, walk me through your background, take us through your resume, they are exactly what they want to tell us. What they want to know, what is the information they have not collected from my resume. If they have collected everything from my resume, then why again they are asking me to give me introduction? When they say this, actually they are asking two things too. One is our attitude towards work, what kind of person I am I a good fit for the job, what I can contribute to the company. These are the two questions they have in their mind, and these answers they try to find out in my introduction. Every student have, when we go for an interview, before we go, our resume is, they have all the information with them. Even the HR, interviewer, employer, they have each information that this student has done this degree with this percentage and he has experience or he is a fresher. They know each and everything. But the moment we go, we appear in front of them, the very first question after greeting, they say, can you tell me something about yourself? And asking this question, they have simply this meaning that they want to know what is my attitude, what kind of person I am. Whether if I say that I love to work, whether that spark, that dedication, that determination I have, or just I have written it for the sake of writing. or am I a good fit for the job? They want to see that when I am describing myself, should I have that spark, that zeal, that enthusiasm that they are looking for the candidate whom they want to select? They want to see that whether I am a good fit for the job, I am the right candidate for their job, for their company, or what I can contribute to the company. These are the questions they want to find out from my introduction. They are not, they don't want to listen. They know if I am coming, if I am called for the interview, definitely I am meeting their requirement. If they have said that they need engineers, they need this branch engineers in this percentage, they definitely called me by looking into my resume. If I have qualified their requirement, only then they have decided to call me. And once again, if I'm going to tell them this information, this is not going to help them. But yes, if what they are looking for and if I'm providing the information they are interested, definitely my chances of selection are bright. So tell me something about you. It's a very relevant question. And if HR or employer are asking this question, they exactly want to listen or they exactly want to get the answers of these questions from your introduction. Is it clear to everybody? Yes, students, any question? Yes, when you say your name, say it very clearly, say it very proudly, say it very with a good smile on your face. As you know, the first lines, you start your introduction with a greeting. Good morning, my name is Varun Mehra. And when you are saying it, you should have confidence in your voice. You should have a smile on your face. You should say your name. They should not say Varun or Narun. They should not be confused. You are saying it with the B or you are saying it with B. You should pronunciate it in a clear way. So that is the requirement of your name. Then the second is why are you qualified? Then first category is your greeting, your name. Second category is why you want this job or why you are qualified. Now here it comes the step, position and company. Sometimes, suppose if I have work experience, I am working in this college from last 10 years, and now if I get a chance to appear for an interview in a university, I can talk about, if you have work experience, then this is the time to tell them about the position you hear and the name of the company, the number of years, any award that you won, and what impact you have on the company or what difference you have made to that in that particular company. Now see, when there are some interviews, maybe you people are fresher. After your degree, when you are applying for the interview, you are totally fresher. Then this step you don't have to consider. But sometimes once you are in the company after 1 year, when you are looking for your promotion, when you are looking for another company, then in that particular company, when in the new company, when you are giving your interview, after your greeting, after your name, you have to tell them that I have worked in that company in that particular position for that number of years with this designation and this benefited you have given to the company. This is the very first thing you have to tell them so that they consider that if he has worked in that company, definitely he has something. If somebody says that I have worked with Microsoft, now there is no chance. Now no other company is going to doubt that this person has no quality, that this person is not knowing anything about how to work. So sometimes when you take the name, what designation, what work recognition, what awards you have achieved in your tenure, in your time period, that make a difference. That why you are qualified. If they are going to consider you, how in the beginning you have tell them, you have told them that you are this, you have done that, you have this work experience, you have worked with these big companies, you have worked with these big projects. So this is for the people who have experience. If you people are after graduation, if you are going to appear in an interview, you can skip this step. So that's why in the next slide I have written that you don't have to tell them. So when you are going to tell them, you need to be sound enthusiastic about your work. Where you, if you have any work experience, For example, sometimes what happened, why I have added this information here at this particular point, in your 4-year degree program, there will be 2 times when you people go for training. And when you people go to the training, you actually in real environment work there. And when you work in a real environment in companies, you definitely come to understand that what kind of situation that is. And when you are mentioning your training, if suppose for 6 months training you work in a multinational company, and when you sit for the interview and you are explaining about your that 6 month training work, you need to sound enthusiastic that you got a chance to work for in the company for 6 months, but in that 6 months you have worked in that particular projects, and you have experienced, you have learned so many things in that project, which definitely give them an idea that you were very much interested to work. You need to sound enthusiastic. You need to sound very that you love to work. Don't sound pompous like I am a leader, I have done this, I have done that, I manage this, I manage that. If I am not there, company is not working. You don't need to sound like that way. Tell them something over and above your resume. They can see that you have done training in this company. They can see that you have worked in this company. But you just have mentioned that you have worked as, for example, I can write down I have worked as assistant professor in Amritsar Group of Colleges for 10 years. But what I have done in that 10 years, what I have learned, that I can tell them when I am giving my introduction. So tell them something over and what I have written in his resume. And again, I am saying in my introduction that becomes boring, that becomes over, right? I have to tell them that they have gone through with the resume. Now they want to listen something that if they have to select me, what I can offer. Give proof for your claims to make it credible, believable. If something, if it is not that I'm, they don't have to check with my previous company and I can say anything that I was doing that, I was doing this. Everything which I am saying, I should have some proof for that. I should have some logic that if I was working with that company and this project I was handling, what things, what area of work I have, I can prove. And according to my qualification, according to my experience, I was the master of that work. So I something I can make it believable that I can have to go with the in my experience. Then it comes your qualification. If you don't have any experience, then that means simply starting with your greeting, your name, you simply have to move to your qualification. But if you have any experience, you have experience of training, 2 months, 6 month trainings, then your greeting, your name, your work experience, then your qualification comes. So step fifth is your qualification. If you are fresher, you don't have to answer step 4 and you need to jump directly